We have a very strong belief that, life is good. And when we started doing this kind of work, we really felt life is not good, life is great. Life is just great. And our thought was that life is great when it's shared through service with integrity. That was our feeling for LIG, and life is great became LIG.
LIG is an opportunity for somebody like me to give back to the world.
LIG is the connection between people who want to help and who can help, and to people who need help.
The beauty of LIG is you don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to be a nurse, you don't have to be in the medical field. You just want to have that need to help others.
No medical background, no medical expertise, don't want to be in the medical field, but I can help. I can do something here.
This is why I went to medical school. You see a patient, you listen to their story, you diagnose a problem, you do the surgery, you help them feel better, you send them home. There's no bureaucracy, no red tape, no insurance, no malpractice, no problems. Just doctor, patient, taking care of people, send them on their way. It's as good as it gets.
If you ask any healthcare person about these kind of trips, they would jump at the chance to do it. It's just in their nature. Things that stop them are sometimes fear, sometimes, again, the inability to break free.
We try to do as a foundation is we try to make it easy. We try to make it doable and make it possible, because we found so many people who that desire is there, but they don't know how to do it. How can you do it? How can you drop what you're doing? How can you leave your children that you're taking care of, or your full-time job, or the parents that you're taking care of, and go away for 3 months? You can't do it. It's impossible. So what we try to do is make it more accessible to many, many, many more people.
If we can make it easier for a healthcare provider or non-healthcare provider to just pick up and go for a week, more people would certainly get involved. And then once you do it once, you're hooked for life. And that's what we found. People that come on one of these trips, they work hard. At the beginning, they say, what the heck did I get myself into? But by the end of the week, this was the most wonderful, life-changing experience I've ever had, and they're hooked.
When we arrived, it seemed like the community was at the hospital. Everyone had a cause, and it was just hundreds of people just lined up, each one with their own particular ailment.
Cuando están aquí los médicos americanos, es una fiesta popular.
The vast majority of the patients that we were able to see had never been seen by a physician in the past. And we saw a number of chronic conditions, chronic medical conditions, even just a simple high blood pressure or diabetes that had long gone untreated. We had patients walk in who had clearly had a stroke, one side of their body not moving, and it was felt by the patient, by the family, to be just such a normal course of action in someone's lifetime that when we asked them, why are you here? They could only tell us about the itching that they were having, because that stroke didn't even register as an abnormality, because it was there's such a prevalence of chronic, untreated, undiagnosed conditions that was just something that had happened, and that person had survived it, they moved on, and didn't even see it as an abnormality worthy of telling a physician.
Cuando no están aquí ustedes, poca cirugía. Hay una cirugía cuando hay una necesidad.
Some of the stuff we see is bad because they don't have access to health care. So our mission statement with LIG is to make a longitudinal impact, not just to come and go.
Because LIG isn't the kind of group that just comes and says, hey, we want to feel good about ourselves and give people a bunch of medicine and help them out. No, LIG is about sustainability. LIG wants to come in and teach the locals how to better themselves.
Yo me siento muy bien trabajando con este grupo para el bienestar del pueblo de aquí, como dominicano, como haitiano.
Hace 2 años que yo tuve un médico, pero ahora la economía no está buena, entonces me lo cojo. Y vine a buscar el curso de ustedes. Muy bueno, porque en realidad yo ando buscando medicina, ya me dieron. Tengo aquí mucha medicina.
So he's saying that it's a really good experience that he's had with LIG because he came here looking for meds for his pain and he got those meds.
mira las manos.
In his hands, he has pain in his knees, and he has pain, and he got seen by a doc, and they gave him what he needed.
Estoy contento.
And he's really happy.
What is our goal? What is our vision? You know, what is the purpose of LIG? We made a commitment from the very beginning that we did not want to be a fly-by-night organization or an organization that will hit one place and never come back. You know, we didn't want to be that group that came in, did work, felt good about themselves, and never came back again. Because what happens to the patients after we leave? We wanted to make a solid commitment to whatever place we go to come back until we hope that we would reach a point where they no longer need us anymore. And then we could move on to someplace else. But we will not go to one place and never return.
We know that we're coming back. We're not just gonna, we're not gonna say we'll take care of you next time and not be here. We will be here. The woman who had a mastectomy today, we tried to operate on her in May. And she, for whatever reason in her life, couldn't make it that day. And then she's here today. So we came back.
There is one child that from the last time, from my previous trip to this one, he has deteriorated. He has muscular dystrophy.
I was at the school for that particular day, and they needed to get a weight on him, and he couldn't stand, he couldn't do anything. So the mother was like, well, he weighed approximately X, but we really want to track their progress. We want to understand that from one trip to another, where they are, what are their needs. So I was like, we can fix this. And, we picked them up. I picked them up. And he was like, no. And then we made a game of it. And, I did the fireman. I threw him over my shoulder. And he started laughing. We put him back in his chair. We got a weight on. So we actually now can track progress. Similarly, we had that same child. He needed a cushion because his wheelchair was too big for him. And again, something here, I know where to go get it. The physical therapist needed foam. And she said, can you get me foam? And I was like, really? Look where we are. And she said, yes, I want foam. This is your job. Go find me foam. So I went outside with the mother and I said, I need foam. And it doesn't translate very easily. And finally, we were able to explain to her what I wanted, how much of it. And she said, okay. And I said, okay, you know what I want? She goes, yes. And I said, go get it. Just go get it, because we can fix this. We can help him live a better life, help him through some of his challenges. And she said, okay. So she went home and ripped open her furniture and took the foam out of her furniture and came with it. And here it was all yellowed, it was beat up, it was stained, but it was exactly what we needed.
When people are challenged and pushed to problem solve and solve those issues on their own, that if they don't do it, it won't get done. They step up to that task, and that necessity, that urgency, and then their ability to come through with whatever solution that they're able to come through with, I think it just invigorates people. It makes them rediscover and reconnect with what was the reasons why they wanted to do something to begin with.
We take it for granted back in the U.S. When we walk in an operating room, the lights are going to stay on. Rarely they go out, they're backup generators, but 99.9% of the time, the lights stay on.
To be in an operating room with the lights on, to have it go completely black except for your headlamp, and then within a matter of minutes, everyone who is with us here knows, oh my God, the OR just went black. And everyone comes in with flashlights and their headlamps, and they're shining them over the patient.
No one wants the machine to fail in the middle of an operation. And certainly dealing with it successfully gives you that thrill afterwards. The sweat does drip down the brow while you're working on it. And it causes you to focus. It causes us to be real focused. And, we don't have a backup. It's, what? We have to get this to work. We've got to fix this.
Day one, we get there, and one of the surgeons approaches me and tells me they need 100 Bic shavers. And I'm like, not 10, not 20, but 100. And again, you're in a remote part of the country and you want 100 Bic razors, to be able to do your surgical operations. And it's like, okay, that's a challenge. Back home, not a big deal. I go to Walgreens, I go to CVS. When you're in Dajabon, in a remote corner of the world, it's a big deal.
Like a symphony orchestra, you could have a bunch of musicians that play notes, but if there's some feeling behind it, then they make music. So we could read the book and cookbook, give certain medicine, make certain incision. But if we're congenial, if we work together, if we have feeling about it, then we make music. That's when we really are taking care of people.
Makes you feel good even if you have a language barrier. Just the touch of your hand makes other people feel that you're there for them.
The universal language is caring. So when I can't communicate to them with my words, I do with my actions, I do with my eyes. You hold their hand, you talk to them gently. Even if it's a language they don't understand, the intent is unmistakable.
So I've always really loved kids. Every time I see them, I just go to them. So every time I give them a present, they don't have much, so I give them bubbles and they play with bubbles, and they just get really relaxed and not as stressed out before surgery. So when they're going in there, they're not scared. So yeah, the doctors are thank you so much. They weren't freaking out, and sometimes I'd go in with them and just be okay, it's gonna be okay.
So everybody contributes. Everyone thinks, well, I need to have a specialty or I need to have funds. It's not. It's what you need to have is a desire and a common belief that, we need to do good. That, it's not that only LIG is a family, but sort of the whole world is a family. And everyone's entitled to services. Everyone's entitled to care.
The beauty of a foundation, of an association like LIG, is that everybody does everything.
There's no doctor, there's no nurse, there's, no scrub tech, nothing like that. We're all just people working together.
I mean, it's so interesting where you can just bring a bunch of random people from all over the country, stick them in a group, have a focused goal, and just bond with these people, in so many different avenues. Eating dinner with them, hanging out with them in the morning, walking to the hospital, working together in the hospital. I mean, it was just so cohesive.
You meet people, and the people that you meet, even if you've never been with them before, becomes your family.
I feel so strongly that LIG is an extension of my family. They are my family, and when I'm not around them, I really miss them, and I look forward to anticipate these missions, not only to help people, but also because I love my LIG family. And each time we do a mission, our family expands.
I, for one, on this trip knew nobody else, and it was fine. I'm leaving now, taking great experiences and taking some new friends with me. But everybody is down to earth, kind, and friendly and hardworking.
I think it all has to do with the leadership. Arnani and Sarah and Raghu and these people who are so dedicated and so motivated to helping people that can't get help otherwise. It sort of radiates to the rest of us and makes us feel that, this is a cause that they feel strongly in. We should also feel strongly. These people need help.
I love it. Raghu and Sarah and Arnani, they're so dedicated, and they truly love doing what they do and helping out other people. They take so much time, and I look at them and I'm just wow, that's so awesome. I wanna be involved with this, and I wanna keep coming back, and it's so cool. Seeing them just inspires me.
Part of the joy of these trips has been to always have a resident accompanying us, and it allows them a chance to fly out of the nest a little bit and work on their own, but always under the protective eyes of the trainers and teachers who make sure that patients get the best of care, and it's a win-win for everyone.
I think one of the things that I would just like to say is I would like to thank LIG for giving me the opportunity to come here, because people think, well, you're the one helping them, but it's not that way at all. They're helping me. I'm coming here and I'm growing as a person, growing as a doctor. I'm helping the world, get stronger with whatever little skills I have to offer, and they gave me that opportunity, and it's just, I want to say thanks for that opportunity, and I hope to have many more opportunities like that in the future. So that's, I think that's the most important thing I need to say to them is thanks.
We've had a number of volunteers express to us after these trips that they almost feel guilty because they feel like they've gotten so much out of it, that they could never give back as much as they've received from participating. And I think that the people who come on these things, the people who this type of organization speaks to, have such a desire to do this kind of work, that what we do is we afford the ability to express it. It's a mode of expression of something that's so deep-seated and so rooted in their very beings, that that ability to express it is such a relief for the people who come with us, that again, they're so grateful for it.
So when I go back home, you know, I'm on cloud nine. I just accomplished so much in so little time.
This is where my heart lies. I will do this for the rest of my life, and I will always find a way to, no matter how tired I am, to go and try to help a hand, because we need to all help each other out.
I think each one of us has, surprised ourselves in terms of, what we're capable of, from, our daughter who's 12 years old to, the 60-year-old, secretary who's never worked in a medical setting at all. They've, exceeded their expectations, 1,000-fold. And we come back, I think, better people. And that's what I think, is the food that keeps us, nourished on these trips.
Nani and I are always saying to each other, who do you think needs this next? Not who do you think wants to go? Who do you think needs this? We all have different personalities, and we're going to clash in different ways, and we're going to groove in different ways, but who do you think needs it? And so I guess I need it. I guess I need to be able to help other people and to help fix things, or at least try.
I've gotten less fearful to try something new, try something I've never done before. That fear of failure is, I guess, what I've always had. And by doing this, and every time I do this and do something new, I kind of start losing that fear of failure, because it's okay to fail, but the important thing is that you try.
America is a country of immigrants, people coming from all over the world, including the Dominican Republic, including Haiti, to America. So it's only natural that we as Americans should go out to those countries which make up our fiber and do good. People say, why do you go to these countries? There's so much need right here in the United States. Why don't you just stay here and do it? Well, it's called Lig Global, and it's almost as if there is no United States. We don't have these boundaries.
We are not just Americans. I'm not just Filipino. We are not just Dominicanos, but we are all part of the human race. And when the time comes for someone who is in need, needs help, that each one of us has it within their heart to give.
I view it as it's my responsibility. It's my responsibility to help that person change that tire. It's my responsibility to buy that meal for that homeless person. The only difference that LIG affords me is it's a concentrated doing great.